Your survival is...
Bunker Hill is ours!
Combat initiated.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you.
Hey there.
You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
Thank you for sparing us.
Hey there.
We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
Targeting sensor.
Bunker Hill is ours!
Following engagement contract. Eliminating hostile.
Excuse me.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you. I can't believe you'd do that for us.
Terminating.
Thank you. You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
Hill is ours!
I will limit the pain I inflict if possible.
That was some luck. Huh? Huh? We could hold out pretty well in a spot like this. Huh?
What have you got to trade today?
Let's keep away from this thing. Looks like it's gonna fall over any second now.
Excuse me.
Fine place to sleep right here. Reasonable rate.
Deal.
No gunfire after midnight. House rules.
All this rest is making me tired.
Stockton.
I run 3 caravans that travel throughout the Commonwealth.
Rise and shine, love.
Hey there.
Listen, Bunker Hill doesn't want any trouble. You have some seriously powerful friends. If it'll keep us on their good side, consider yourself to have the run of the place. And the next time you need something, just ask, all right?
Let's trade some things.
Go ahead.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, boom. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
So why come out here?
To put things in perspective, I suppose. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? Well, he was correct. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
Why let me out now? After all this time.
Well, that's hard to explain. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. Hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe, given that all the intelligence leading up to this indicated we'd taken them by surprise. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful. From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Remember, health and happiness go hand in hand.
Sean.
Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Excuse me, but, sir, are you sure this is, well, the proper time to be discussing that? Considering, given all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
Of course.
Really? No, there's no shame in being out of the loop, as it were. The project has been classified for quite a long time. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
Well, that's an understatement. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
No!
Please, everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
This can't be happening. I only just found you.
I've had the same thoughts more than a few times. But we cannot let this stop us. Our work must continue. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy. You can't be serious!
Really?
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
We don't usually welcome outsiders. I hope you
I had no
appreciate
idea.
your good fortune.
I know this
Hey,
is...
what do you need?
Well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous, perfectly capable of functioning without intervention. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. You'd lead the Directorate in setting policy, resolving disputes, and the like. There's no question that some of the Directorate, and the Institute at large, will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us. But for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Scanning. Subject.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
A successful mission on all counts, sir. If you're worried I won't be able to keep up, don't be.
Nothing to report, sir.
X688 sounded very impressed with your work at Libertalia. He doesn't give praise lightly. Well done.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
Attacking human.
Attacking enemy.
Utilizing stealth. How interesting.
Emergency relay activated. Relay powering up. Ready in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Did you think we would not see what you have done? Did you think I wouldn't know you've betrayed me? After all I've done, the lengths to which I've gone to give you a new home, a new life, for us to be a family. But you have made your choice. From this point on, you are an enemy of the Institute. Should you cross us, we will kill you. Go now, and live whatever meaningless life you can.
Relay online and engaging.
Gun should be loaded and ready to fire. Good shooting, sir.
Maybe
Prop's coming in
constantly
pretty
trying
good.
to kill us, but the Commonwealth
Yeah?
never lacks.
Doesn't
Do
it
you
feel
need
good
something,
to be
monsieur?
a part of something as important as the Brotherhood? Yes?
What?
Yeah?
I wonder what has happened elsewhere. Is what has befallen the Commonwealth atypical, less
You
extreme?
hear about that
more-
farm run by ghouls? Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Out here, you gotta take things one day at a time.
Yeah?
I'll hand it to you. This place isn't awful. It's still a hole, but it could be worse.
Yeah?
You lead the way, and I'll always be close behind.
Got work to do. Can't talk now.
Never thought a reporter.
You know what I call a good day?
I've made my choice.
One that ends without an
The
event.
Institute is now our enemy.
I always knew that day was coming. The question now is, what are we gonna do about them?
I say we attack. Take the fight to the Institute.
I'm all for that, but we don't have any way to hit them yet. You should give Sturgis that holotape with the Institute data on it. With any luck, he can use it to find some way in. In the meantime, we can focus on building up our strength while Sturgis is working his end. No half measures. This time, when we attack, we finish the job, once and for all. I've got something for you to do right now, actually. Maybe you can find out where those bastards are coming from and put a stop to it.
Ain't looking for trouble, I hope.
Yeah. I used to be quite
Stop
the
complaining when there's
adventurer
nothing
I
left to
was
complain
younger.
about.
Now, these old bones just can't keep... up.
You want me to hand over highly sensitive data first?
I'd like to share the holotape with the Minutemen. I think they need it as badly as we do.
I'm not sure why you trust them with it, but it's up to you. After all, you're the one who got it in the first place. Here's the original. Already made myself a copy.
So you and Glory got assigned the same op. Compartmentalization of intel does have its cost.
Bad news. They kicked me out of the Institute. I can't get back in.
God damn it. We knew the whole operation was a long shot. I'm sure you did your best. With no way to coordinate with Z-114, I'm afraid we've lost our only chance.
We have to think of something to save the synths.
I wholeheartedly agree. Pam's already crunched the numbers on this scenario, though. Without help, the Railroad simply doesn't have the numbers to do anything to the Institute. To forcibly free the synths in the Institute, you need an army. There may be a way. Not with us, but with your Minutemen. If you continue rebuilding them, you'd have that army. Then with the data you got using Tom's holotape, maybe they can find a way back into the Institute. If we can help with that, let us know. But I fear the fate of all the synths lie with the Minutemen now.
We got a lot of synths in play right now. Makes things really dangerous.
General?
Is there something you need?
I need your help to attack the Institute.
The Institute? Why in the world would you want to mess around with them?
They kidnapped my son.
Damn. That's some bad business. Even for them. The Minutemen will stand beside you, General. There's no question about that.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Is there something you need?
No, nothing.
All right.
Yeah? Humanity
Yeah?
has fallen so since the bombs.
What's up?
Here's a holotape I happen to have. Full scan of the Institute network.
Well, all right. I'll start digging into this and see if I can make heads or tails of it.
We need a way to bring the fight to them.
Let's hope we got something we can use. Well, they sure aren't gonna fall for that teleport hijacker trick twice. All the good stuff on here is gonna be encrypted. So the first job is to see if I can crack it. After that, well, I'll have to see what I've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe.
Never thought a reporter could consider themselves a success until someone threatened
You know
their life.
what?
Me?
Since we talked,
I'm very
I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us here in Sanctuary.
Hey there.
Bad news. At the castle. We've got to win this one.